How fast can life and love change? Well, it can change in a heartbeat, the snap of a finger. Everything can pivot, positive or negative. And for most people, they believe, they see, they know the negative side. But the idea that life, love, marriage, parenting, the idea that an intimate relationship could pivot into the positive in a heartbeat, that's really hard for a lot of people to accept. And it's because there's three basic factors at play. So everybody say momentum, everyone say trajectory, and everyone say turning points. Okay? So momentum is how fast you're moving in your life, in whatever it is that you're doing. How much inertia, how much momentum, how much movement, how powerful are you going the place that you're going? And then trajectory is like how high or how fall or which direction. So where are we going? Trajectory. Momentum, how fast. And then the third part is turning points. And these are moments of impact. Some people will sometimes call trauma on the negative. And we really don't have, like, what's the positive? What's the positive side of a trauma? Like most people don't actually have a name for it. In some of the personal development world, the spiritual world, they could call it a metanoia. They could call it a conversion experience, right? It's that idea of when your personality shifts. You had such a thing so meaningful, it changed your whole perception of yourself. So I like to call them moments of impact, or sometimes they'll be significant emotional events. But in life, in love, we have these moments, this thing hits you, and it feels like our whole life changes direction. And again, that's just the mechanism, trajectory, momentum, and turning points. That's the mechanism. But what it is for most people is a traffic accident. Their life changes direction, right? A family member gets a diagnosis, their life changes direction. And those are the stories people very often hold on to, and we forget a kid getting into a college. That's also a turning point. That's a shift in direction and trajectory. Graduating high school or college, getting a new job, joining the military, leaving the military, starting a business, closing a business, retiring. These are all possible momentum changing moments in our lives. And so I want to encourage you, the good stuff can happen like that. Right? So here's the case study. I have a client that I onboarded last week, and he has gone through the communication course, finally getting your kids to listen. And it's really, we're working on his communication with his wife. They have been going through some complicated, messy stuff, and they've been kind of in a sexless marriage for about 3 months now, and it just feels like they're getting further and further and further apart. But this guy is not one to give up. He runs successful businesses. He is working on his own personal growth. He is so solid in himself. He's a joy to talk to, honestly. And by all intents and purposes, he should be rocking on all cylinders. But, you know, his partner, his wife, she's going through some stuff, and she's feeling some kind of way about some things, and she's not available to him. But he went through the communication course, and I have a couple of unique ways of looking at communication, and I'm getting feedback from him, and this is helping make sense here and here. It's integrating here and here. So it's like serving him. And these are like small percentage changes. Like these aren't big, huge blocks he's never heard, but it's little adjustments that are removing the friction, making it safe. I'll give you guys one that we talked about yesterday, in fact, is this guy is solid in himself, shows up as a man, shows up with a sense of purpose. And sometimes that's not helpful. When the people that we love are feeling smushed, and they're feeling sad, and they're feeling small. And then we come in and we're really strong, and it's okay that you feel that way, babe. I got you. We're going to make this happen. We'll be fine. That can be a huge mismatch. Because when they're down like this and you're coming in like this, it's like, oh my God, you're just... Can you tone it down? You're making me nervous. You're making me anxious. You're stressing me out. And what happens is we're so solid in ourselves, they don't feel understood. They don't feel safe. They don't feel seen. They don't feel acknowledged. And so sometimes we have to acknowledge the impact. Oh my gosh, babe. And just that little shift, that little dropping of the shoulders, that little softening of my body, right? I am a very resourceful person. I am very creative. I'm very playful. I'm all these wonderful qualities because I built it over the last few decades. All that being said, if my wife is feeling small, sad, and cold, if my daughter is feeling small, sad, and cold, me being big and strong and powerful is not the way to meet them because I'm mismatching. I need to kind of join them in that conversation. And oh my gosh, honey, well, thanks for telling me. That sounds like a lot. What's going on? Tell me more. And if I can meet her here, then I can begin to draw her somewhere else. And I can begin to get back up into my natural state and my natural flow and my natural excitement. But it gotta meet here first. And he was like, that makes so much sense because he's so strong and he runs teams and business and all these different things. He's used to being this strong, big, powerful, and passionate guy. That's not always what his wife needs, right? End of the day, she's fatigued. She's sitting on the couch, a little bit standoffish. Hey, what's going on? Why the distance, babe? I love you. You should come over here. You should be in my arms. Snap into it. Get a Slim Jim, right? It's too much. Don't be all so macho man. It's just, hey, honey, are you touched out today? Like everyone's been touching you too much? Yeah, let me get you a blanket. Let me rub your feet. Not being servile, not rubbing her feet to earn love. Oh, I hope she loves me. I hope she acknowledges me. I hope she validates. I hope she gives to me. Nah. I see the struggle. I see the fatigue. Give me that foot. I'm going to provide you with relaxed feet. You are going to love your feet. I'm going to make one foot jealous of the other. And then tell me a little bit about it. And when you're ready, it's cool. You don't have to. But there's no pressure. There's no, we're trying to get somewhere. I'm not trying to get something out of you, right? I see you're in a deficit and I just want to fill you up and it's okay. And I don't need you to fill me back up. I would love for you to flow back into me, sure, but I don't need you to. And so he's making these tweaks. And yesterday was our coaching session. We did some cool reframes on some things. But what was really awesome is he started last Sunday. So a week ago. And then Wednesday, they had a conversation and he made it safe for her to be where she was, what she was feeling, what she was going through. And he was able to create an openness where she felt safe to share some mental and some emotional things. So she was open mentally, she was open emotionally. And then that night she was open physically. He's all like, bow chicka. I'm like, bow chicka, bow bow. But she was like, that was fan-fucking-tastic. She gave him access that night, and then the next morning was still in that high, still in that appreciative place. And this is after a 3-month deficit and tension and distance and all that. So 3 days, already seeing positive results from just little tiny tweaks, little tiny adjustments. So my question to you, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Life is too short for bad food, and life is too short for bad marriages. If your intimate relationship is not firing on all cylinders, that's information. That's telling you need to do something. Because if you don't, this is just slowly fading and dissipating. And eventually whatever connected you two together will disappear. And you really will just be two strangers passing in the night. And I can tell you the retainer for a divorce lawyer, depends on where you live, depends on your income level, but you're looking at $3,500 to $5,000 per lawyer. That's a $7,000 to $10,000 problem. And if you're a higher net individual here in Fort Lauderdale, Miami, divorce lawyers start around 10,000. So that means you need 20 grand to get divorced. Now imagine raising kids in a marriage where mom and dad don't want to be together, don't like each other, don't respect each other. They're constantly arguing and fighting and they don't have the money to end it. And the kids are growing up seeing the battles between mom and dad. What kind of toxicity does that create in those kids' lives? What sort of therapy and support are they going to need when they get older? What kind of marriage are they going to create when they've seen such a horrible example? And you might think, well, they're going to do totally the opposite, except they've never seen the opposite. So when someone treats them nice, they don't believe it. They don't trust it. I need tension. I need stress because that's what I grew up in. That's my emotional home. So stay together for the kids is usually a horrible idea. And what happens when the kids feel like they can't escape? We've got kids as young as 10 ending themselves. So getting your marriage in a good place, it's so critical for you individually. And for a lot of parents, it's hard to do that for yourselves. Oh, I feel selfish. I feel greedy spending money on myself. But if you and your husband, you and your wife are not filled to overflowing and thriving, you are stagnating and dying just slowly. And the longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to get to fix. If we catch it earlier, it's cheaper, it's faster, it's easier. Lawyers, things get ugly. I talked to a guy January of last year, January of 2023. Put together a package. Him and his wife are estranged. It's been going on for so long. It's this and that. It's about a $5,000 program. Take about 6 months. We'll get this into this place, this. And he said, no, I think we'll figure it out. We'll be good. Thanks. Year and a half later, June of 2024, he is $70,000 into a divorce. Not divorced yet. By the end of August, so 2.5 months later, that bill was $120,000. His kids no longer have college funds, and he's still not divorced. And we could have solved it. We could have resolved it. And even if we didn't recover the marriage, at least he could have left without the battle, without the fighting, because he'd have a different set of resources, a different way of looking at the needs and the wants of his now soon-to-be ex-wife. He could have possibly filled her up in new and different ways. And I'm not here to judge. I'm not. I want you guys to understand. I've been through the relationship stuff. I had a 5-year relationship. 2.5 years of that I slept on the couch because my breathing at night woke her up. So I'd rub her back till she fell asleep, then I'd go sleep on the couch. 2.5 years we were in a sexless relationship. It was miserable. And she's going through something, and if I just love her enough, then things will get better. I went at it totally wrong. It's one of the reasons I went and got the knowledge and the skills that I have now. And it's why I am so passionate about serving. Like I said, life is too short for bad food. Life is too short for bad marriages, bad relationships. You deserve to be with someone who delights in you and thrives and fills you to overflowing. And you deserve to be with someone that you want to fill to overflowing. But sometimes it's hard to do that when we're stuck in our own wounds and we're stuck in what we're not getting and we're hurting. Can't give what you don't have. And I'm here to help. I'm here to be an asset and an ally. And I've got free content, and I've got courses, and I've got mentorships, and I've got coaching. I've got all kinds of cool stuff. So whatever you got going through, there's a link down here, leadlikeaking.com/book-now. Get 15 minutes. Let's dig into your situation, see what's going on. Maybe working with me is the right play. Maybe it's a podcast. Maybe it's a book. Maybe there's something that's like, well, have you done this? Because my goal is to get you to results in days or weeks, not months and years. Like if I work with a client longer than about 9 months, I start to get mad at me. Like what is the hang up? Why is this not changing or shifting? Because obviously I'm not putting in the right information, or I'm not motivating in a proper way, or I'm not unpacking the complication so that the answer is intuitively obvious. I take ownership with my clients. My goal, I don't want followers forever. I want leaders around me. I want peers. I want to build a community of men who have it together and are building each other and growing. That's the whole point of the Unstoppable Masculine, which is the paid version of this Unstoppable Mindset. Men only, ladies. So just for the husbands. But if your husband needs a kick in the butt, kick him my way, and I will be glad to kick him in the butt. So change can happen in an instant. We need new strategies. We need new moments of impact. We need new ways of thinking and feeling. And we got to accept the reality. If things are not going the way that you want, that's okay. Acknowledge that, because that's where you find your power to start making changes. So that's it for this Tuesday. You, ladies and gentlemen, make it a fantastic day, and I'll see you when I see you. Feel free. Leave comments down below. Leave reactions. How does this land for you? What do you think? What's been your experience? Because I love feedback and I love conversations. I also love arguments. All right, you guys make it a fantastic day, and I'll see you later. Bye.